Super Rugby Pacific, Melbourne, Super Round, Day 1. Stick around and I'll share my insights to both games that took place. Hey everyone, it's Coach H here, and you've found Inspired by Union, a channel where I discuss Southern Hemisphere rugby. Let's dive right in. Well, what a start to Super Round in Melbourne. The Blues versus the Highlanders, both teams hit the go button right from the get-go, right from the start. They were into it, trading blows, coast-to-coast tries, absolutely wonderful game. Following that opener, it was the home team, the Melbourne Rebels, hosting the side from across the Nullarbor in the Western Force. And these two teams also came to play in a wonderful endorsement for Super Rugby Pacific. Let's find out how these games played out. The Blues versus the Highlanders. An open running game, but with plenty of push and shove, a really tense environment. It kept the match officials busy. The Blues were industrious at the breakdown, and the addition of Akira Ioane as he worked tirelessly alongside his skipper and Dalton Papali'i, and perhaps the form number 8 of the competition, Hoskins Sotutu, paid dividends. The Blues lost another key lock in Sam Darry, but the youngster Josh Berry put in a really solid performance. On the stroke of half-time, it was a brave counter-attack from Stephen Perifetta that turned the tide and took the game the Blues' way. Going coast to coast, the Highlanders really was a 14-point play. They were on the line, looked like they were going to score for all money, and then Perifetta breaks out. Jacob Ratumaitavuki-Neepkins gets a yellow card right on the stroke of half-time. Just a disaster for the Landers. Mark Telea. Well, Mark Telea did Mark Telea things, and he was an absolute menace all day. The Highlanders, workmanlike, fronting up was on point. Aside from the effort, unfortunately, at times, some of the decision-making invited the Blues back into the contest. And the Blues were in the sort of mood where they didn't need a second invitation. Ethan de Groot was solid on his return, powerful at scrum time, and busy around the field, especially on the defensive side of the game. And whilst he was on the paddock, Hugh Renton was immense, perhaps on the smaller side, which may prevent him from becoming an international loose forward. It's no wonder that the NRL side, the Dragons, are chasing this man's signature. If I do have a gripe from this game, it's the lack of defensive line-out work from both sides. With Razor in attendance and him clearly stating that locking was an area of opportunity, it was disappointing that there wasn't someone putting their hand up and saying, "Hey Razor, I'm your alpha to play lock this season." Great intent today shown from both sides, but it's the Blues game management that comes out trumps. They win 37-29. The Melbourne Rebels and Western Force then put on a show for the small but enthusiastic crowd. The Force really controlled this game for long periods of time, and their execution with tip plays and showing real deception using inside runners and decoys was really crisp and really nice to watch. Max Bury, the fullback, was a threat on both sides of the ball throughout the 80 minutes. I was very critical of the Rebels last week. I pointed out they had effort areas, yet there was an area where they had poor application in terms of ball into contact. Well, what a difference a week makes. Their ball into contact work was superb, finding weak shoulders, getting their head past the defender, and then being able to generate quick ball for their strike runners that is so powerful in the back line. Lukan Salakaya-Loto hit beast mode tonight, and he was by far, in my opinion, the best forward on the park in this game. You could easily watch a highlights package of this match and think it was the Carter Gordon and Andrew Callaway show, but that would be unfair. All the Rebels players put their hand up and contributed to this performance tonight. Particularly want to point out the contribution of reserve halfback Ryan Lowrens. His box kicking and contestable kicking was on point and led to a pressure try by Filippo Dungunu. The Rebels won this game 48-34, which was a flattering scoreline, and the Force will be asking themselves, what if, when they review the tape on this one. Day one's MVP work goes to Hoskins Situtu. Powerful carries and an absolute menace on defence. He set about getting to work with his partner in crime, Akira Ioane, both taking victims today. My Betty Crocker award goes to the Highlanders as a team, inviting the Blues back into the game by a botched restart where they allowed the ball to bounce, a schoolboy error. Be better, guys. You get the privilege to be paid to do this. If you're finding these insights helpful, consider smashing that subscribe button and ringing that bell so you hear my insights every week. So that was day one of Super Round. 4 teams showing up with positive intent, promoting running rugby, ruthless in defence, 2 really great contests to watch. Stay tuned for my day 2 review tomorrow.